Yes, yes, yes. Happy Friday. Hope you're gonna have Friday feeling, man. I love Fridays. So welcome to show 358. Through this show, we're going to be talking a little bit about not relying on motivation and actually learning about a much deeper level of drive and passion and discipline to make sure we do the things that we're going to do. And I feel like this is where most men are like getting it wrong. Okay, I feel like a lot of men are getting it wrong with this. So I think it's really important that we address it, deal with it, and smash it up. Also, on top of that, if you have and I promise you when I say 90 seconds, if you have 90 seconds, there is a link on this bio. And it's basically a little survey just so I get a better understanding about what people want in terms of content as we go into the new year. It just gives you an opportunity to maybe just voice some of the things that you'd like me to talk about on these shows. All right, amigos, let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Bourbon, and if you are coming through, please do make sure you hit the love heart button at least 12 times, and in the comments down here what I want you to do is I want you to talk about how can you put this, how do you show up when you have no motivation? Are you good at showing up when you don't have motivation? Do you slack when you don't have motivation? Do you moan and whine when you don't have motivation? So what I want you to do is be honest. Honesty. That's what we need in there. All right. Oh my God, I am battered. 2 marathons this week. I only plan to do one, and then just before and after the show, I did a Wednesday. The internal self, the internal brain was going, "Have you got another one in you? Have you got another?" I bet you couldn't even do another one. It was like it was goading me to do another one. So we did 2 this week, and I put it up, and somebody inboxed me and messaged me and said, how do you become motivated to run 2 marathons? And I just want to put this out here, right, because I think this is one of the biggest mindset concept issues that most men have. At literally no point over those 2 marathons, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning last Tuesday, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday, at no point was I motivated. At no point. When that alarm clock went off at 3 o'clock yesterday, at 3 o'clock in the morning, the last thing I wanted to do was get up. I didn't spring out of bed, let's go and run a marathon. I'm telling you, all I wanted to do was stay in bed. Because it was warm, the house was warm, it was cozy. I could probably get another 4 hours sleep in if I went back to sleep now. And what ends up happening, and what I'm trying to train blokes to be, is to have this elite operator mentality, where the chimp's going, you don't need to get up. It's really cozy in here. Like, treat yourself. And weakness grows through comfort. Just one more time. Weakness grows through comfort. Meaning, when you're in a comfortable position, when you do things that make you feel comfortable, i.e. missing out on the gym and going home and sitting on the sofa, staying in bed and not getting up, getting a takeaway instead of cooking a decent meal, it provides you with a level of weak mentality thinking. A lot of people won't like me saying that. I don't care. It's like, if you don't go to the gym, you won't have a strong body. Your body will be weak. If you don't go running, or you do some form of cardio, or walking, or swimming, or cycling, CV-wise, you're going to be weak. If you don't condition and push your mind, in your mind gym, this is a gym in here, you will be mentally weak. And where I think it's going wrong for a lot of men is that they are mentally weak. And that will really trigger some people. Who do you think you are today? But it's true. This is the truth. And we're mentally weak because we stay in a safe place. We stay in a comfortable place. We consume ourselves with reasons why we can't do something. And that becomes habit. And you're in a chimp's world. In this bubble, you're in his bubble, you're in his world. He owns you because you're not doing what you said you were going to do. Like, I asked some simple things in my Elite Brotherhood, right? I asked people to do one personal accountability post a week. It's not a lot. It's a review session, right? Whenever we finished a mission in Afghanistan, whenever I finished, before we went on after we come back from a training mission, a recce, an attack patrol in the military, we would always come back and we would always review what went well and what didn't go well. Whenever we played a game of football, when I was playing at a really good level, afterwards we would always gather around and talk about the game and what went well and what didn't go well. At the end of each day, I kind of look at the day and went, what went well, what didn't go well. I asked some of my members to simply put in a personal accountability post, and they can't even spend 10 minutes doing that, not all of them. Which is why we constantly do bollockings at the focus group. I'm like, why aren't we doing it? Because they're not willing to break through. It's too comfortable not to do it. It's not important. And it's one of the most important things. And it's one of those things. So when we don't put ourselves through some level of hardship, okay, we never really break through. We never really develop a character, an identity. And some men will never, ever change. They will go through their lives. And I'm starting to recognise those men. Which is why we do an application based now. So whenever anyone joins us, we will look through the application form. And we can tell a lot by just how much they filled out that form. So if they've done the minimum requirement, more than likely we won't accept them. Some guys are determined, are destined to stay in that comfort zone, owned by the chimp. Weak mentality right throughout the rest of their life. And they would always talk a good game because, by the way, we can always talk a really good game in an environment, right? We can always talk, we can big ourselves up when it's nice and comfortable, when we're nice and warm, when the environment is cozy and comfy. Yeah, I'm good, this is what I'm going to do. And you'll be out with all your mates and you'll be talking to everyone and your missus and like, yeah, I'm going to run this 20k, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And I'm going it's easy. But then when it comes to the hard work, you don't show up because you're soft. Weak mentality. Too comfortable. Because getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, oh God, jeez. I didn't tell anyone that I was doing that second marathon. Nobody. Not even the missus. And an hour in, I just text to say, just to let you know I'm running another marathon. Doing stuff. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. And showing up to do what you said you were going to do is what builds hardship. Like out here, out there in the world, life is hard. Life is tough. But the only way that you are going to condition yourself to deal with that better is by putting yourself through some level of hardship. So for me, that was doing a marathon, which was planned, because I need to go to that next milestone to train from a 100-miler. And then it's turning around and going, could I do another one? I wonder if I put myself in on. And not only do I think about that in my own personal terms as a personal challenge, but I then think to myself, if I can do this, then I can lead me to lead them. So then I look at all of my clients and everyone that follows me, and instead of just being that coach that yabbers on about it, let's be the guy that shows up and does it. And then we end up leading from the front. So there's some drive, there's some emotional connection. So I don't need motivation. How can I possibly look at people that invest in me monthly in the eye, turn around and say, I need you to start showing up, if I had pressed the snooze on that alarm at 3 o'clock in the morning? And you can't do that. So there's a much higher level purpose, drive. There is that commitment, there is that grind, there is that hustle, there is that mentality. You've got to be a warrior in this world. You've got to build this mentality up. You cannot afford to be weak. If you're weak, you will not live your life's potential. I'm telling you now, you will continue going around in circles with your drivel, with your BS, with your self-pity, with your victim mentality. You will get nowhere, and you'll live a great average life if that's what you want to do. And by the way, this is directed at the people that want more but are not showing up to achieve more. If you're quite happy with your life, then good for you. I'm happy. But this is speaking directly to ambitious guys who are not showing up and fulfilling that dream. And you have to be prepared, guys. Hardship creates character. Morning. You right?
Some underwear, I think,
I know.
There's 1 degree on my car currently.
It was -5 on my one earlier this morning.
What time was that?
I know, about 4:30. Great guy. That guy is recovering from cancer. Brilliant guy. And because I'm here every single morning, I see all the locals coming through. They drop me change. When they first come in, they dropped me change thinking I was homeless. Bless them. You've got to build character. If you're going to build character, if you're going to build up this in here, this is a gym. If you don't work out in this gym, it will become weak. To work out on it, you've got to start doing your planning. You've got to start showing up as a better husband. You've got to start being present and in the room with your kids, not face sucking your phone. You've got to make sure you finish work when you said you were going to work. Okay? It's like, guys, I will say this, and a lot of you will say, oh yeah, I've got to do this. Oh, this is so true on this. And by Monday, you'll be straight back to where it was. And that is the challenge. That's the challenge. Why can't you do this consistently? Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why does it have to be, oh yeah, I get this, I get it. And then by Monday morning, after the weekend, do you know what I mean? You go straight back to where it was. And then you get everybody goes, yeah, I've been on it, and then I just lost it. And then I'm on it, and then I'm just lost it. The only thing that stops you not being on it is the weak mentality. Because you're not putting yourself on the line. You want to put yourself on the line, tomorrow morning, get yourself up at 5 o'clock and don't go and do a 10K. I guarantee in your head you're going, right, I'm going to find loads of excuses. Get up tomorrow at 5 o'clock, go and do a 10K or a 10K walk, and go and start showing up. Because no one's doing this for you. No one's coming to save you. No one can implement a stronger mindset, a harder mindset. The harder mindset that you need to be that guy you want to be or need to be, right? For the people around you to lead yourself. No one could, I can't do that. I can talk about it. And these talks are about raising awareness. Like for my job here, my job is just to raise your awareness. My job in Elite Brotherhood is to make sure that people are showing up and I coach them. The people in my elite squad, which is my top group, small group coaching mentality, is to really get into their brain, to make mini-me's, but in their personality. And it's the same with my business mastermind, with business owners. It's making sure that they're not full of it, that they're being the asset of the business, that they're not making excuses about why they're getting home late or bringing up their kids on WhatsApp, FaceTime because they're never home. Like all of these things are all interlinked, they're all binded. You make the decisions, you build the belief system, you show up and be the master of your life. But it doesn't happen, okay, based on motivation. You can't rely on motivation to do all those things. There has to be an inner grind, an inner animal, an inner beast in you that shows up at that level. All right, amigos? Don't forget the survey for me. Have a cracking weekend.